and I've been a Muslim for about 4 years now. Well, how I came across Islam was from the age of 18 when I was in Scotland. I left Scotland and I continued. I went traveling, I went working, I lived in all these different countries. I lived in New Zealand for 2 years, I lived in Greece for 6 months, I lived in France for a long time, telling me little by little by little. Every time I had a question, why eat halal meat? Why not drinking alcohol? Like revert questions, and then more about
Yeah,
Prophet
yeah.
Muhammad Rasulullah Wasallam. Like after my first 2, 3 months of Rizq Rise, I didn't do anything in high ticket sales. I concentrated on my business because it was a reasonably busy period. But I made 11,600 euros in profit
Not
through
bad.
sales.
But how did you come across the surprise, by the way?
Honestly, purely by chance, by fate of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
What has that done for your business and income?
Not even 3 months, it was like 2 months of Rizq Rise. Really nailing in honestly, that calendar skill that you taught me, you and Marwan have taught me. I've made so much money off that.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We bring another success story here again. Cameron, who's a revert, and I thought I'd bring you on, Cameron, and introduce you to everybody and shine some light on your story. And inshallah, this might inspire one or two people. So, yeah, man, would you like to introduce yourself to the viewers?
Alaikum salam. My name is Cameron Brady. I'm
No.
originally from Scotland and I've been a Muslim for about 4 years now, for anyone who's watching and who's interested.
Better.
And yeah, I think I've been a member of Rizq Rise for the past 6 months.
6 months. Yeah, roughly around 6 months. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, 5, 6 months round about there, just before Ramadan.
Long back. How did you come across the surprise, by the way?
Honestly, purely by chance, by fate of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I actually had a situation because I run a little business where I
Yeah,
live and services, gardening, just handyman sort of stuff, like basic things.
yeah.
I've also done project managing for other people as well, but I went more into that for myself. And I came across, I was in a contract for work
Okay.
and good contract, paying well, give me a work van, ticking all the boxes. But then they asked me to do a job which was deliver alcohol to other
Oh,
chalets. And me, I refused. I said, no, I'm sorry, I'm a Muslim. I can't do this job for you. They continued to argue their point, brought in contracts, brought in this.
Allah.
So I said, halas, I'm going to leave this. And like, I have a baby, I have a wife. And when I was at my house, I was looking for my Instagram and Rizq Rise came up. And I thought,
Allah.
I think it was your face actually that got me into Rizq Rise.
للآن. Subhanallah. Okay, so before we speak about your success, inshallah, your journey, because alhamdulillah, you've seen some nice success, not only from your business that you're running, but also in your life. Before speaking about that, let's go back in time, Akhi. Let's talk about your Reaver story, because a lot of people love to hear about Reaver stories and how they actually came across the Islam. So what was your story, Akhi? How did you come across Islam?
Well, how I came across Islam was from the age of 18 when I was in Scotland. I left Scotland and I continued. I went traveling, I went working, I lived in all these different countries.
Yeah.
I learned how to snowboard, I learned how to surf. I lived in New Zealand for 2 years, I lived in Greece for 6 months, I lived in France for a long time. I went to all around Asia and different parts of the world, but
Well
when it
traveled, Allah
was,
Mubarak.
alhamdulillah, paid all by myself, alhamdulillah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala lets me have jobs and things like this on the way. But I was actually in France for the second COVID, and it was me and my wife, and we saw an opportunity to go to Morocco
Mm.
to be English and French volunteers in school. So teach kids how to speak English, teach kids how to speak French. And I'd never been to a Muslim country before. And I was not gonna lie, when I wasn't a Muslim, I was a little bit apprehensive, I could
Mm.
say. I don't know if it was just because what I'd seen on the news, what I'd seen on the media, or I'd never really been around. The only Muslims that I knew was the guy that owned the shop and a boy that I played rugby with, who were
Yeah.
my good friends, but I didn't know many. And when I got to Morocco, I was in an area where I probably shouldn't have been for tourists. It was a place where there was like a mental hospital and there was a lot of different stuff going on in that area. And I just went for a walk. I was on my own. I was like, I've done this loads of time. I've traveled the world. I know what I'm doing. And I went on a walk and I got so overwhelmed with all of these people coming at me, running at me, telling me to, I don't know what they were telling me, subhanallah. I don't know what I don't know what they're trying to communicate with me. And it freaked me out. I got scared. And then I remember hearing the adhan straight away. It was Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. And everyone just calmed down. And then everyone just like chilled out. And then I calmed down as well, really fast.
Yeah.
And I had such high emotions of feeling a bit of apprehensive fear against people for unknown reason. And I heard an adhan and then I thought, something about this is making me feel comfortable in myself in a stressful situation. started making me really think about Allah, but think about, I didn't really have a massive awareness of God.
Yeah.
My parents brought me up with no religion, but they brought me up to believe in God. They brought me up to, okay, don't have a religion, but believe in a God.
Yeah.
So alhamdulillah. So I had this awareness and more. And then I just, subhanAllah, like I came across the right people at the right time. Like I got moved from this volunteer school to another volunteer school. And then
Allah
I
was
got moved.
dragging you to get close to
Yeah, alhamdulillah, all the way. Like, and then I ended up in a place called El Jadida, if anybody knows where this is. And me and my wife again, we were actually looking, we were in a souk and we were looking for a surfboard because I'm a surfer. And I was looking around the souk because somebody told me this man's selling surfboards. I didn't have much money, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to try it. I went around, I searched the souk for a surfboard. And I never found this surfboard. Never found it. But
Allah.
the man selling surfboards. But we came across a place which is Mzimin. Like, do you know it? It's like pancakes in Morocco.
Yes, yes. It's مسمن. Yes, you put honey
Mzimin.
on it sometimes. It's nice breakfast. I really love it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good breakfast,
Yeah.
good snack, and Zimin and tight. We went into this place and we were like, it was loads of women, and all the women were talking to my wife. And again, it wasn't a very wealthy place of Morocco.
Yeah.
Well, El Jadida is quite a wealthy place, but where we were wasn't. And they were talking to my wife, and they were asking, "Why are you here?" And my wife was explaining, "Oh, it's because we're French and English volunteers. We're teaching." They asked them, "Oh, can you teach our son French and English?" And we agreed. And they asked how much money, and we said, "Just give us like a tagine or a couscous, or so, like we don't need any money. It's okay. We don't want your money."
Allah.
And after that, like we went after Juma actually, so we got couscous on that day, and we started teaching this little boy how to speak English and French. But when I went into the house, I met a man, and he was called Yusuf, and he was a beast, bro. Beast of a guy. Like he's a Moroccan ex-heavyweight champion at boxing.
No
Like,
way. SubhanAllah.
yeah, it makes you look small, like he's an absolute machine. And he was like at the door, and I was like, I seen him, I was a bit terrified. I was like, whoa, who's this guy?
Am I gonna get knocked out here?
Yeah, but he was the nicest guy I ever met. And subhanallah, like I was in an area which didn't speak much English, and he spoke very good English. And I knew that he was just sort of there to see if everything was going okay. He was
Yeah.
a part of the family.
Yeah.
And I noticed that when we were in the house, my wife was giving the little boy a lesson, I was speaking a lot to him, and I asked him, "Why is there so many women that live here? Like, do they rent the house off the man that owns it, who was called Mustafa? He was the grandfather of the boy that we were teaching."
Yeah.
And he said, "No, no, no. Like, they're in situations where they're divorced, or their husbands are have died, or their husbands are in jail or something like this." And I said, "Okay, so why? So does Mustafa rent these houses?" And he said, "No, not at all. No, Mustafa lets them live here with their children, and then gives
SubhanAllah.
them a job in this Mzimin shop, so they can make a little bit of an income." And
SubhanAllah.
I didn't understand why. I was like, why does he do this? Like, he had a career for himself. He was in the Navy, built up a bit of money, bought himself a nice house. And I asked, why does he give up his whole life for this? And then they said, because this is Islam. He said, he doesn't want to be the richest man in the graveyard. This
Yes.
is part of his journey. And what he does in this life, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will judge him for what he did for his
Yes.
afterlife. So he had literally given up his home, his house, his business just to help these women out.
SubhanAllah.
And after I started speaking more, and I was going, they were perfect sales technique. Like they were not pushy at all with Islam whatsoever. They were just telling me little by little by little. Every time I had a question, they would give me a good response and tell me, like, example, why eat in halal manner, why eat halal meat, why not drinking alcohol, like basic like revert questions, and then more about
Yeah.
Prophet
Yeah.
Muhammad Rasulullah Sallam. And then he bought me a Quran, and the Quran was like English translation into Arabic. I read it, and then after I read the Quran, there's far too much evidence
Mm.
in the Quran where it could have possibly come from a human being, or it could have
SubhanAllah.
possibly come from anything but the divine creator. It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
SubhanAllah.
Be it scientific, be it about history, be it about common knowledge, be it about how you're going to live your life. It is literally a guidebook
SubhanAllah.
into how to have a blessed
That's when
life.
you know like khalas. It's the evidence in front of me. No excuse. Bismillah.
Exactly, yeah. And then he took me to do a shahada in the masjid. And I remember phoning him, and I was like, "Oh, bro, like I want to be a Muslim." And he says, "Okay, we'll take you to the masjid on Friday." And I didn't know about Juma at that point. I had no
Yeah,
idea what
yeah,
Juma
yeah,
was.
yeah.
I just thought everyone went to the mosque at, like on Friday. So he took me into like the biggest mischief in the city and then took me to do my shahada after Jumu'ah prayer. And everyone was so happy,
So
brother.
happy. Yeah.
Everyone was so happy.
Yeah,
They're
because
like,
in Morocco they don't get to see much like reverts, like people that probably was a local message as well that nobody ever seen a white person before or something like that. And
yeah, yeah,
you could,
absolutely.
do your shahada, which is amazing. Allah Barik. Well, I'm very, very happy, man. I really appreciate you sharing that. So, alhamdulillah. So now you reverted Islam. Fast forward, you reverted Islam. You come back to the motherlands. You start your business, which is the landscaping business that you're currently doing it. All right.
Yeah, mainly landscaping and gardening. Yeah.
Okay, amazing. So you're doing that for a while. So why didn't you not just continue with your landscaping business? Why look elsewhere in terms of like halal remote opportunities? What was the key factor for you in terms of making a transition or joining Los Horizons in the first place? Like what were you not happy about? What were you looking to improve on?
What I was looking to improve on was more my lifestyle
Okay,
and how I live my life. And I think it's when I had a child and the fact that I'm a new Muslim, my wife's a new Muslim, and we're in an area where there's no Muslims. So I have a business, I have something that works, alhamdulillah,
alhamdulillah.
but I need to develop myself to learn a skill set where I can go to another place and live closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala
100%.
and not make my family suffer and not hinder because I have goals, everyone has goals. And why can't I achieve my goals also while going to pray, also while going to the masjid every day? Also while being around Muslims here in the Adan, like I want to achieve what I want to achieve in my rizq and my life but also being around Muslims. So it was more for the hijrah point, and I thought I wasn't making any mistakes when I was selling stuff.
Yeah, subhanAllah, it's like you don't know what you don't know until like you have somebody that looks at your business from experience from the outside, and you're like, oh wow, this is that you're doing this you did this wrong, you did this wrong, and you're like, oh wow, okay, there's a lot more opportunities that I wasn't utilizing to make more money initially,
hmm
but Allah Mubarak. So now that you're on the fence of joining, was there any hesitations or was there any concerns that you have when you're looking at the opportunity and like, pulling the trigger?
Yeah, I think before I was on the fence, my concern was I've never done this before. Like I've only
Mm,
ever used my hands.
yeah,
Like if you touch my hands, they're like asbestos, man. Like I've
yeah.
worked
You're a
hard though.
handyman. Yeah,
Aye, yeah. And so I've only ever used my hands to make money. I've never, I was, so I would say I was working, well, Marwan, he's told me this. He was like, you're working very hard to make your money, but you're not working very smart. And
correct.
then,
I have leverage.
no, zero. Like, I can do that while I'm young, alhamdulillah, but when I get to 30, 40, there's going to be no way. I'm going to be like walking around like hunchbacked in Notre Dame.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in that case, then, so that, you having these concerns, alhamdulillah, you pulled the trigger. So let's fast forward right now into your journey. You've been in the program for 6 months along with Vedic. What has sales done for you, or what has the community of Rise done for you so far? Let's talk about the mindset shifts and also the personal gains that you have had in the last 6 months.
How it goes up there than how you actually do it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So my mindset shifts it's been unbelievable. Like I would have never have thought that I would have joined a program or joined a sort of educational platform
Mhm.
where my mind flips and it's like 360 flip as well.
Okay.
It's not gradual, it's straight away go, this is why you're doing it. Like even when I'm telling you I have my goals, I have the reason why I want to do this, I would have never said this 6 months ago. I would have just been
Allah.
like, oh, I want to snowboard and pray to Allah and like it gives you focus, it gives you a reason to be consistent as well. Because I feel like a lot of brothers, they're on a journey to progress with themselves, but they don't have people around them or a community around them giving them that support in the matter of giving you a reason why to be consistent.
SubhanAllah. 100%. I totally agree because once you lack like certain mindset beliefs and mindset shifts and you lack focus and consistency in what you do, you're always going to find, you're always going to fall behind, so to speak. And something that you probably noticed as well, that we drilled with all of you guys is being more efficient with your time.
hmm
Optimizing your calendar. Like people
hmm
underestimate the power of the calendar and how to optimize your
mm
day and your time because you could be focusing, like you could be thinking that you're working, but it's not. Are you actually working or are you just like being active?
Hmm.
There's a difference between being active and actually doing deep work. Like somebody that is focused in 2 hours, he can do what somebody does in like 2 days because he's just busy. Okay, he's not really doing effective work, leveraged work, so to speak, and it's very, very important. Now, on that note, having these mindset shifts and now obtaining the skill set of sales in just 6 months, what has that done for your business and income? Want to share that?
Bismillah, I'll share it, no worries. With my business beforehand, what I was doing, I was probably averagely making about 4K a month. So it was okay, wasn't terrible. But then after not even 3 months, it was like 2 months of Rizq Prize and really nailing in honestly that calendar skill that you taught me, you and Marwan have taught me. I've made so much money off that.
Allah,
Like my income has become so much better from like that alone, putting your mindset in the area.
Allah.
But yeah, alhamdulillah, like after my first 2, 3 months of Rizq Rise, I didn't do anything in high ticket sales. I concentrated on my business because it was a reasonably busy period, but I made 11,600 euros in profit
Allah
through
barik.
sales. And
MashaAllah. Allah barik.
alhamdulillah, it was like the skills that you guys were giving us. Because yeah, you give us a lot of skills in sales where you realize how much mistakes you're making.
Yeah,
Like unbelievable. I was spending like 3 hours doing a meeting, or like then following up the meeting, then doing this, then
yeah,
not realizing like you're wasting your time, your money.
yeah,
And even little tips that you were giving me, like, oh, when you go to someone's house, go and knock on all the doors around it and see if they need anything. Like little ideas
yeah.
like this
And
at work.
like even if someone like let's say if someone rejects you on that door, you grab their name, you go to their neighbor, say, oh, by the way, I just knocked on John's door. Adds that credibility because they know their neighbors. So it
Hmm.
increases your close rate. SubhanAllah. And this is a proof that like not just sales just not just for closers, so to speak. Sales is not
Hmm.
just for sales reps that are looking to make money, but like you're proof of the pudding, so to speak. You
Hmm.
have your own business, you're a freelancer doing everything by yourself. You took the sales skills and you applied in your business and you doubled or tripled, the amount of income that you were making along with Bedek. And now you're making a whole shift now into the remote high-ticket sales space along back to hopefully make hijrah, inshallah,
Hmm.
very, very,
Inshallah.
very soon, bi'idhnillah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it is going to be possible because you have the work ethic, you have the skills, and you have the vehicle to be able to
Hmm.
do so, bi'idhnillah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
But it is work. It does work because, like, for instance, I've had roles, but I've just started my real role, I feel. And the one that I want to progress with, I want to grow, I want to watch the company grow, and I want to grow with it, and I love it.
Alhamdulillah.
It's very, alhamdulillah, it's a very good role, and I got it from the connections with you guys at Rizq Rise.
Alhamdulillah.
But for instance, I've been running my business and I've been doing high ticket sales at the same time, and I've got a family, and I live in a foreign country, so I made like 5 grand passively off my business, and
SubhanAllah.
I didn't even get up off the chair.
SubhanAllah.
I just organized it, scheduled it, and I've been making money through high ticket sales as well,
Oh,
alhamdulillah.
that's crazy. Allahumma barik. SubhanAllah. Okay, so now that obviously you're still growing. There's a lot of stuff to learn. You've only been here for 6 months, and alhamdulillah, you've done
Mm.
a lot. Allahumma barik. So moving forward now, what's your goal in the next year, 2 years, 3 years? Where do you see Cameron in the future?
I see Cameron as someone praying in the masjid every single salat,
Alhamdulillah.
as he has the capability, inshallah, of being able to provide and be there for his not only his direct family but also his family in Scotland.
That's an amazing goal. That's an amazing goal to have. May
Yeah.
Allah make it easier for you, inshallah. So, Cameron, you took us through your journey as a revert. Amazing story. And I'm pretty sure at least one or two people have been inspired by that story. You took us through your journey as well from, going back home now as a revert, starting your own business, making 3 to 4 grand a month, and then subhanAllah coming across sales and remote high sales and then using that skill set within your business to you know double the 3x your business along with Batik in just 2 to 3 months, and now alhamdulillah shifting into the remote high sales space to further your skill set and further your income and make hijrah inshallah. So coming to the end of this interview, Akhi, what would you say to that person that's watching this right now, that's on the fence, that's on the line possibly of pulling that trigger, booking that call, taking action on learning a skill that can allow him to achieve time flexibility and income potential that he can never ever achieve in a 9 to 5 or stuck in the office, so to speak? What would you say to that person?
Very good question. And I think I would say, first of all, say Bismillah and have tawfiq in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Oh,
But
yeah.
tawakkar, thank you. Sorry, still a revert, don't know the Arabic. I've still got this excuse for
You're
another
good. You're
bit
good,
until
Akhi.
I learn, inshallah. But also, like, if you stay on the fence and you're scared of progressing yourself, everyone who progresses themselves and makes something of their life, they all take risk.
100%.
Everyone takes a risk, be it financial, be it with your body, be it with your mind. Everyone takes a risk. And if you don't take any risk, you are not going to make any progression at all. You're just going to stay in the same space. You're going to not move and potentially just be unhappy if that's the position you are. And I feel like the sales space, high ticket sales space, so there's so many jobs and there's so many
So
good
much
paying
more,
jobs.
so much opportunities. 100%.
Absolutely unbelievable. There's so much opportunities, and alhamdulillah. So if all of these people can do it, then why can't you? Why can't you do this? It just takes a bit of self-belief, and I think the first and best thing actually in your own self-belief is just making the first step and doing it.
Taking that initial step.
Yeah, inshallah. Because I know it's gonna help. Yeah, I know. I, I
You're the
know.
product.
Yeah, I'm the one that's telling you. So I know that it helps. I know that it puts you forward. And especially with the Muslim brothers, is you're not going to find another community which you're going to get on and they're going to say, you're on a sales call. Don't lie. You have to remember Allah before you remember your money. You don't ever miss Salat. Don't ever forget about Juma on Friday. Don't ever forget to put Salah in your calendar. Don't ever forget to put time to read the Quran every day in your calendar. Where else are you going to get that? Where you have a Muslim community helping one another in deen, which is most importantly, and
100%.
then how to make rizq.
100%. Barakallahu feek, Cameron, for sharing your story and coming on board. It's always a pleasure, and I'm actually really excited to actually see where you're at in the next 6 to 12 months. And hopefully maybe we do a part two, inshallah, and seeing what new levels have you smashed, bismillah. With that being said, I really appreciate you guys for watching this interview. If you are somebody that's looking to transition and get started in the remote high ticket sales space and achieve financial freedom and also time flexibility over your time, then it's time for you to take action. Click the link in the description, inshallah, book a call, and we'll see, inshallah, if you're a great fit. If you are, inshallah, we'll extend an acceptance letter and we'll help you get started with Rizq Rise and the mentorship. If not, no worries. We can also refer you to something else that's beneficial to you, inshallah. So, that being said, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.